Well, hello everyone. Boy, it's been a bit, huh? Since we did one of these things? Couple weeks at least, probably a few. Now. Not since near the launch of Tears of the Kingdom. That's the last stream we did. It's been a bit. It's nonsense. Welcome, though, everyone. And thank you for the hype train. God dang, I should get my little recent events window open here so I can keep up with all the nonsense you folks get up to, so it can't get away from me. Hail, traveler, what news have you of the realm's affairs? Nothing super exciting here. On my end, anyway. Hey! Melee, thank you very much for all those gifted subs. How kind of you.
Thanks,
Hey, y'all are wasting no time. Goodness, I need to get caught up on this, or I'm only just gonna fall further and further behind. Thank you, Ashton, first of all, for 10 months subscribed, and for somehow getting in here before everybody every time. It's quick on the draw. Thank you, JMac, also, for 10 months. I hope you're doing well, too. Dragon Lady, there's a lot of people who are getting 9 or 10 months here. Dragon Lady, 1005. Hello. Thank you for the 9 months, in addition to all the gifted subs a second ago, Melee. And 9 months for Absolute also. 10 months for Probable Futures. 10 months for Ratstronomer. I was just watching Dan playing Ragnarok. Now there's a present Dan. Yes, welcome to the present Dan. As opposed to past or future Dan. But thank you for the 10 months also, Valbatross. I don't know if I actually said thank you back there. Also 10 months for IRMX for real. And, oh gosh. I've caught up and now there's so many more. Old Army, 2013, thank you very much. Game Worm, thank you for the 8 months. 7 months for Selectahedron. 7 months for Chroma Capybara. New subscriber Bacon Lords, hello. 9 months for Falca. Hello to you also. 10 months for Malcroft. And hang on. Chaos Carry, living up to the name once again. Thank you very much for those 5 gifted subs. That's very generous of you. Welcome all. It has been a bit. Apologies for my absence. Things have been busier lately.
Thanks,
Just with
pal.
life, but also with trying to get New Frame Plus videos done, which I did that. Finally. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Sile9 or Kyle9? Which do you prefer? Not sure which. But thank you either way. And also, give me a username. Thank you for the 9 months. But then also, Office969 has gifted 5 subs, which is arguably too kind, if you think about it. And then Old Army 2013 did the same thing. Y'all are getting a little out of control. Maybe this is just because I've been...
Thanks, pal.
I haven't streamed much lately, and so folks see a window to do all this kind generosity and jump on it. That's what I'm just going to assume, but you're all very
Thanks,
kind.
pal.
But yes, it's VGM Appreciation Day. Not officially. Every day is VGM Appreciation Day, I say. This stream is going to be sort of a chill experiment of sorts, because I don't know exactly what's going to happen. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of video game soundtracks, and I've been collecting them for many years, to the point where I have a pretty large collection of video game music, just like digitally, like on my hard drive here. Pretty enormous. And so I thought it'd be fun, since I just thought like a chill hangout stream would be nice. Maybe I'll just like put together a little playlist that has a bunch of my favorites in it and just hit shuffle, and we'll just listen to and enjoy and celebrate some very good video game music. Now, it's an experiment because I don't know exactly how Twitch is gonna deal with that. It's true, Pichu. We like your sounds, but there's other sounds also. Thank you, Ludo History, by the way, for the 4 months, and 10 months for Midnight Skies. Welcome. But yeah, I don't know exactly how Twitch is going to handle listening to a whole bunch of video game music, much of which is probably stream safe, but probably not all. I'm guessing that the VOD for this will be a choppy experience, lots of silence and stuff that gets muted. When I export to YouTube, I don't know if that silenced stuff will carry over, or if YouTube will get the first crack at content ID stuff. Who knows? This is why we're experimenting. Because if this works, I think it could be fun doing more like specific focused video game music appreciation streams in the future. Like a stream where we try to figure out like what are the 10 best boss themes in Final Fantasy XIV, or streams where we appreciate good Zelda music. I don't know, like there's a lot of video game music we could talk for a while. But we'll just hang out and chat and listen to a bunch of random ones, is what I was trying to say today. And just see how it goes. I have found YouTube is a little more generous. So that's the thing. I know what to expect from YouTube Content ID generally. For the most part, video game music is mostly fine, but some soundtracks are like kind of released under specific record labels, which are more obnoxious about it. But even when something gets caught, it might be that the video, like everyone's experience of the video is unchanged. I just can't monetize it. Or maybe I share monetization of it with the copyright owner. Or maybe that video gets blocked in several countries, which is usually the threshold past which I'm like, okay, this is a no-go, not happening. Worst case, it'll just get blocked everywhere, which is pretty rare, but that's like in the realm of video game music. I imagine if I put up more like, if I tried putting like actual Billboard Top 100 tracks anywhere in my videos, that would happen a lot more frequently. It's gonna be a good time though, because this is a large collection of game music, and this playlist I've got here which is itself over... What? Hang on. We're not even into it yet. This is just our usual lo-fi beats. This playlist I got is like over 500 something long, and it's just kind of the cream of the crop. I've been collecting for a while. Yeah, give me a username. I agree. Like, full copyright strikes for music, especially video game music, are not something that I have encountered in all my many years of making YouTube videos, many of which have featured video game music. But especially over time, as more video games feature licensed music, sometimes you can run into, not strikes necessarily, but you can definitely run into claims and blockings. It's pretty obnoxious anytime we play Kingdom Hearts and I end up having to near mute whatever Utada Hikaru song they have in there, because that's usually going to get stopped. UMG is no fun.
Thanks, pal.
Have I listened to Celeste's Strawberry Jam music? I don't even know what that is for sure. It sounds like something that's not like the soundtrack. That sounds like is that like a cover album or a little special release thing that happened? I don't know what it is. Hold on. Thank you very much, Baha Bali, for the 5 gifted subs. That's very kind of you. Bacon Lords mentions, yeah, having a single massive playlist of video game soundtracks will give you whiplash, going straight from something like Spiritfarer credits right into something from Pizza Tower. We will be experiencing some of that here. Oh, okay, so Celeste Strawberry Jam's like a massive collab mod for the base game. That's cool. I've not experienced that, but I'm assuming that means that's like original music that folks have made for that mod as well. That sounds cool. I love when games get a big and loyal enough following to make cool stuff like that. But yeah, so we're going to be definitely bouncing around a whole lot of different tones and genres and energies, and hopefully not volume levels. Hopefully there won't be anything that like goes really quiet and then blasts you guys' ears. This should be somewhat normalized, but we'll see. I don't know. Well, let's stop putting it off. Let's go ahead and kind of get into it. I've made a special... here, we'll pause these jams, and I will shift us over to our special new slight modification of our overlay here, of our chatting overlay. Just because I needed something to fill the space, right? And I'm just going to hit shuffle, and we are going to enjoy whatever happens. And just enjoy some good tunes. And let me know how volume levels of my voice to music are over the course of this, because I imagine that'll fluctuate based on the song. So hitting button, go. Ooh, appropriate. Fitting. As with many of my enemies in God of War Ragnarok, we are afflicted with Sonic. Say what you want of Sonic, though. Good soundtracks. And this is a rearrangement of a Sonic Adventure track that is in Sonic Generations. And it is a jam.
Yeah!
Thank you for completing the experience there, Baha Bali. That just threw in that extra little dash of seasoning that completed the experience. Music could be louder? Hey, you'll hear no arguments from me. Rock out. Clearly my playlist is telling me to do a video on Sonic Superstars once that's out. Yeah, that will probably be a thing. Hopefully it'll be an easier video. Relatively smaller. Cosmic Boba Tea, I also had to like double take for a second and remember like, wait, were there Sonic voice samples in this track originally and I just forgot? No, that's just the alert sound with someone with good timing. This track is great, though. It's like one of the most hype-feeling level tracks in all of Sonic Generations. I feel like this is just a straight-up improvement over the original track from Sonic Adventure, which was already good. Did people have any problems with Fury on YouTube as it has an original soundtrack by synthwave musicians? I don't know. I mean, I haven't played Fury on YouTube, so maybe. Ooh, a much quieter start. Might need to actually turn it up a little bit. Yeah, I've not played Fury on the channel anywhere, but given it's an original soundtrack by synthwave musicians, unless there's like some record label involved in releasing the soundtrack, it's probably fine. It's much more quiet. I'm gonna have to just manage volume myself here for some of these, I think. I love how unique Peter McConnell music is. Like, how many games do you get this sort of like weird eclectic variety that Psychonauts and a lot of other Double Fine games get? Peter McConnell also did the soundtrack to Hearthstone, by the way, which is great. Hearthstone music is fantastic. Is there anything from Pyre in this playlist? Maybe? Let me do a quick scan. I don't think so, but I think in part that's just because I haven't played Pyre yet, so there's not as many that are like... I've definitely listened to the Pyre soundtrack and enjoyed a lot of it, but there's something about a lot of times listening to game music tracks once you've played the game and know the context that it appears in that makes it like stick out in your head even more. Okay, I better turn this back down. Who knows what's gonna hit next? Okay, yeah. Ooh, yes, definitely watch that Double Fine documentary on Psychonauts 2. It is incredible. I am very happy that Persona 3 is not only getting a remake, but that the FES sort of like expansion DLC before DLC was a thing. I'm glad that that's getting included in the remake because it's like it's got a really neat story angle to it that I really like. I like how, you know what's cool about Persona music? There's a lot of things that are cool about Persona music, but one of the coolest aspects is like Persona music sounds really unique. Like Shoji Meguro brings a unique sound in general to these games that is really distinct and great and catchy, and you somehow don't get tired of it after like 100-something hours. But Shoji Meguro also brings a different vibe to every one of these games to the point that you can usually place which Persona game each one came from. Like Persona 3 uses a lot more of like hip-hop and sort of like synthy trumpets and stuff. Persona 4 is a lot more of a rock angle and uses more organs, so there's like more of a prog rock sound to a lot of it. And 5 brings in a lot more funk with the like some of those sort of like funk strings and or like funk, almost disco-y kind of strings sometimes. I like how different they all three managed to sound while still all sounding incredibly Persona. Hello, folks who are just now joining us. Yeah, Persona 5 definitely has some jazzy vibes. Acid jazz is the genre for Persona 5? I'd believe that, not being familiar enough with subgenres to that level of granularity. I would take your word for it. But I also just love that this is a RPG series that we're like, this is what a battle theme will sound like. You don't get a lot of those. I should thank some people, I bet. Yep, Alchemist 80. Thank you very much for the 10 months. And welcome to the music hangout, everyone. All right, what's going to hit next? Ooh. Love it. This track and these variants of these tracks are easily some of my favorites in all of Mass Effect. What a good vibe. You recognize the name Jimmy Henson? Yeah. Jimmy got to... This is one of the kind of early big game soundtracks that Jimmy got to take part in. Which is really cool. Like, Jimmy was someone who I first encountered on Overclocked Remix, and it was always cool seeing one of the remixing community there like take off and grow a full like musical like composer career, especially if you got to kind of see them start as an amateur, like relative amateur on OCR, and kind of like saw the growth in their skills over some years and then saw them actually become professional. Like, that was pretty rad. Since you haven't played most games, this is simply a cool music stream. Hey, that's great. I look forward to introducing you to a whole lot of cool music, and it is my goal, it is my hope that I will manage to... Hey, Draconth, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. It is my hope that all of you, including like folks who play games on the regular and also love video game music, it is my hope I will introduce to you in this stream at least one track or one game soundtrack you've not encountered before that you now want to look into. I bet I can do it. We'll see. It's a pretty eclectic mix we got here. And Nobuo Uematsu is definitely going to feature frequently. I love what a prog rock nerd Uematsu clearly seems to be. Hey, listen to that. Like, he's clearly working with such simple samples. Like, so this is on the PlayStation. I don't know if he's having to, like, work within the limits of what their sound chip can create, like you would have had to back in the 8 and 16-bit days, or if these are just actual simple samples that he's working with. But he, like, compositionally, though, he does such great work with them. You never considered battle themes from a prog rock angle, but you can totally hear it now. It's, like, in Uematsu especially, it is all, like, prog rock is all over his boss themes. And yeah, like, Stalacahedron mentions the Black Mages album. The Black Mages is Uematsu's rock band, basically, when he did just sort of a little rock band. And that band, from what I heard, is just prog rock left and right. He clearly, like, that's something he just loves. which makes like it's a great genre fit actually, given just how like dynamic and versatile and how much the rhythms keep mixing up and how they keep things just dynamic and interesting over the course of a track. You don't really settle into just one groove constantly in any prog rock song. Prog rock is really fun to drum in. Someone asked like a few minutes ago whether I played an instrument, and I do play drums, not well because I haven't been able to like practice in a decade, but that I learned a little bit of piano as a kid, and then I eventually learned drums and really enjoy drums a lot. And prog rock and prog metal are real fun to drum to just because the patterns are so irregular and fancy. Thank you for the 5 more gifted subs, by the way, Old Army 2013. Even more kind of you. Goodness. You've also followed the piano to drum pipeline. It worked for me. Are you playing 16 right now? Hey, I think I'm about to say your name wrong. The Choco Man. Or like Choco Man. I've never actually known how to pronounce your username out loud. Even like I see it all the time. Choco Man? Yay! Okay. Excellent. Good. How are you liking 16? I can't... Like, I imagine there's no way that this stream is not going to, in some way, disrupt the dour vibes. But maybe that's just the little boost you need. Some very different but also very good Final Fantasy. I love Hitoshi Sakimoto's work. How's my day? My day's going good. Final Fantasy XII soundtrack is so beautiful. If this style sounds familiar to you, Sakimoto was also the composer for Final Fantasy Tactics. So he is often the composer they go to for composing Final Fantasy games in the Evil East setting. Sakimoto also composed for Valkyria Chronicles, Odin Sphere. There's some other one I'm forgetting. Just really beautiful stuff, though. Oh, did he do Crystal Chronicles as well? Hang on, I'm Googling it. Crystal Chronicles, composer, who was it? Oh, no, that would be Kumi Tanioka, or at least one of them. Neat. Crystal Chronicles soundtrack, also very, very good. And thanks for joining tonight, Old Army 2013. Sleep tight. And thanks again for all the gifted subs. Oh, hey. Speaking of Hitoshi Sakimoto and other games he's composed for, Valkyria Chronicles, you can hear it's very familiar. Like, this is clearly the same composer, but more of a sort of like an upbeat, kind of like World War II era battle theme. And it's so good. You don't know what it is, but Sakimoto's music just never does it for you. That's, like, honestly, given that Sakimoto kind of has a pretty distinct sound and style that he usually works within, it would make a lot of sense to me that if you didn't like one thing in Sakimoto's work, that the rest just would not do it for you because it's all, like, kind of in the similar vein. Whereas if you like what you hear, then you'll probably like a lot of the rest of Sakimoto's work. So is this the soundtrack playlist on Shuffle? Yes, it is. Just a large playlist of about 500 of my favorite pieces of video game music, just on Shuffle. Oh, can confirm that Final Fantasy XVI's music is incredible. This does not surprise me, given the composer we're talking about, but I'm thrilled to hear it. Is any Cave Story in the mix? That's a good question. Cave Story does have some good music. Is any of it in here? I don't think so, but you are correct to like Cave Story's music. It's very good. Did I make this just for the stream, or is this my personal playlist? It was pretty easy. Like I tend to be pretty organize-y with my music playlists, so so finding, like, going to my video game music folder and grabbing all the stuff that I have rated, like, at 5 stars, and just dropping that in a new playlist, super easy. All right, let's hop around some more, though. We got a lot of tracks in here. Also very good. A lot of orchestral stuff now. What an amazing soundtrack this is. What do I use that lets me do star ratings? Basically the Apple Music app, which is basically the successor to iTunes. I've just been in the iTunes environment for a long time, and that's what this huge collection was built up in, so it's what I continue to use. What song is this? You want to note this one down? Track title should be up in the top corner of the little video here, but which it should continue to scroll. Hold on. There we go. Scroll that title. Welcome, Toaster. It is Chill Video Game Music Appreciation Hour. Until Twitch tells us why that's a bad idea, which it probably will eventually. Again, the VOD for this might be unwatchable, but we'll find out. We'll have fun in the meantime, right? But what comes next? Yeah. Bonkers how good Chrono Trigger's music is. That's true. It's bonkers how good Chrono Trigger in general is still. Like, it's hard to find games from that era that still hold up as strong as that one manages to in most regards. The play of Chrono Trigger is still so fun. That's on an HD 2D remake of Chrono Trigger in the works. I assume that's actually probably not a high probability. Or if it is, then it's one that'll kind of be just sort of one of the disappointing ports of the retro stuff that Square does so often. I would love for them to go all in on a Octopath Traveler sort of like go wild with a Chrono Trigger remake type thing. But I do kind of get the sense, yeah, like what Chocoman said, I feel like Square doesn't want to touch Chrono Trigger. In part because I don't think it's ever been one of their big money franchises, but also just because it's like, it was like a lot of the head creatives on that game or on those games aren't there anymore, or are retired, or are like not around. Like sort of like the folks at Square seem to have like a lot of put a lot of stock in sort of like the creative ownership of the original like leads on projects of theirs, which is kind of cool. But I don't feel like Chrono Trigger is just one of their franchises that is ever going to do big numbers. But that's okay. That's a good thing it holds up so well. All right, what do we got? Nice. I don't understand how, by all accounts, I should, like, immediately want to switch off anytime I hear more Persona music. Not because it's bad, but because I've heard all of these for so many hours. I should be exhausted of it. And I never am. Where's the Sonic music? There's some in here. Honestly, the very first track that came up when I hit go, when I hit shuffle, was a Sonic track. What do I think to the soundtrack of Adventure Zone Balance? Oh yeah, no, I like that. Like, especially considering it's Griffin, the DM, also composing all the music for that playthrough is pretty wild. There's some really nice tunes in there. Really elevates and emphasizes a lot of the emotional beats. Oh, hey, thanks for the 10 months, Nora, buddy. I almost missed it. Hey, and I did miss Namtams. Thank you, Namtams, for 10 months also. And Rogue Link. And Landis Maximus also, if I didn't say you already. I think I did. That was like 10 minutes ago, but... Which Persona has the best soundtrack? Oof, that's a tough call. They do have different vibes to them, as I was saying before, so like... But I feel like, even though 5 is not my favorite of the kind of the big three of Personas, the fact that it's soundtrack, I do kind of want to say 5 anyway. I feel like 5's might be my favorite of the bunch. But they're all so strong, I don't think I would fault anyone for choosing one of the others. Well, listen, Shuffle wants more Chrono Trigger, and I'm not going to argue. Oh, there is definitely Final Fantasy X music in here. What a good battle theme. So catchy. How many different copyright claims is the VOD gonna get hit with on this one? Oh yeah, no, we're gonna be getting like hit from all sides for sure. It's very much gonna be just sort of like a it's gonna be a Godzilla movie basically. It's them fighting for control of the city. The city really isn't gonna get a lot of like offense in, I don't think. The VOD is done for. It's really just a question of who comes out on top. But we'll have fun in the meantime. And maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe it'll be fine. Hey, thank you, Moon Decay, for 10 months. And I'm happy to provide chill tunes while you grind dailies. Thank you for the 9 months, Deowolf. Chrono Trigger just casually having a battle theme that goes harder than some games' boss themes. It's very true. That bass. And thank you, Blind Play, for 10 months, also. All right, who we got next? Ooh, yes. Yes. I love this. Splatoon soundtracks are so cool. I love that they're diegetic. Octo Expansion was so cool and so hard. What is diegetic? Diegetic means it takes place in the world. So like if you think of a lot of soundtracks to a lot of movies or games or whatever else, those are non-diegetic. They are music that we are hearing that have been sort of like added to the experience, but it's not something that characters are hearing in world. It's not something that's being composed or performed in world. Diegetic music is music that is in universe. So if you see someone in a film or a movie or whatever, like playing a guitar and singing, and that is the music that's happening, that's something that would be diegetic. So the music, like this song you're hearing right here, is performed by two of the main characters in Splatoon 2's DLC. Because Splatoon always has these sort of like idol celebrity characters who are sort of like the radio hosts of the city world, basically. And they're also main characters taking part of the campaign story, so it kind of rules. Or like another one of my favorite cases of diegetic music is at the start of Nier Replicant, out in the village where which of the twin sisters is singing? One of the twin sisters is out there with a guitar and she's just singing the song that's being played out there in the main town area, and you may not even Devila, thank you. You may not even realize it's her doing it until you go up and talk to her and the vocal track stops. But she keeps playing the guitar stuff keeps going because she's still playing that, but she's talking to you, so the vocals drop out for a bit. And I love that so much. Cool that they just invented their own kind of weird genre for Splatoon music. Like, obviously, it's all derived from genres that exist and heavily influenced by several, but nothing sounds like Splatoon music. All right, let's move to another one. What do we got? Hey, speaking of Nier, and here's one of my, if I'm guessing, if one of these tracks is a candidate to be most likely to get content ID'd first, I'm guessing this one. Only because I remember when doing the Nier playthroughs that I saw a lot of claims pop up that I had to contest. So clearly, whatever record label published this one is a pill on YouTube. Darn, Nier music is so good. Like, the first Nier has to be one of the, like, there's a lot of games out there that where like the game is not good, but the soundtrack rules, and that there's like that wide disparity can just be really fun sometimes. I feel like original Nier has got to be pretty up there for the widest disparity between how not very good the game is and how absolutely bonkers good the music is. And Nier Automata closes the gap considerably by actually being a pretty rad game, too. This language this is being sung in, by the way, is something the singer created just for this project, which I love. And she's basically the main vocalist for all stuff in the original Nier, for the most part. I think she only voices or sings the French version of a lot of the songs in Nier Automata, but she's great. Just beautiful. Alright, I'm not going to be streaming all night here. I should keep hopping around tracks from time to time. Especially once we get to a loop. But okay. More Nier, okay. You're the boss, Shuffle. I mean, Shuffle's not wrong. Let's listen to that. I wasn't ready for that. I don't even care if this VOD gets muted to heck. I'm enjoying listening to this too much. Just stunning. Hey, thanks for the 4 months, Quixotic Raven. This is a great stream idea. Thanks for doing this. Hey, you're welcome. I mean, whether this was a great stream idea remains to be seen, but I'm having a good time, and I'm glad you are too. Like, so long as it doesn't get us in trouble or something, even if, like, the VODs are just unlistenable, like, I'm still down for doing something like this now and then if it's not going to endanger the channel or anything. Just because it's fun and chill. It can just be something that's good live and then not very good immediately after. part of the game does this play in again? Good question. I want to say it's when you... It's probably several places, but I feel like when you go up and visit Popola inside the church is one of them. Yeah, like the version you hear out in town, the Devila version, crossfades into this when you go inside, right? And then probably a bunch of other places. I do love that Devila and Popola each have their own version of this, though. It's just breathtaking. It's so good. Okay, let's see what we got next, though. Very different vibe. But extremely good. I can't believe how good the soundtrack is. And good in a way that I feel like this game, like both Shovel Knight and the soundtrack were good enough to be practically influential. I feel like there's a lot of good indie game soundtracks that have gone retro like this that we might not have, like... Not that we might not have gotten them, but I feel like Shovel Knight influenced a lot of indie game soundtracks to follow. In a good way. Shovel Knight does such a good job of, like, feeling incredibly authentic, even when it's not being slavishly authentic to old limitations. It still sounds and feels like it is. It's so strong. And thank you, Chip7, for all those gifted subs. A lot of people being real generous today. Enjoy the emotes. Polka, you love the Secret of Mana soundtrack, but almost everyone who didn't grow up with it seems to hate it. I think there's a lot of great tracks in Secret of Mana. Radio Frame? Radio Frame stream, is that what this is? Yeah, I guess it kind of is, huh? And welcome to Radio Frame. The first, and in the worst case scenario, last Radio Frame stream. Is Halo in this playlist somewhere? I bet so. Hang on. Let me scan. Yes. Yeah, there's a couple of Halo tracks in here. There might be Secret of Mana tracks in here. I might. Yeah, I do have one. WTDC for Dan and Carrie. That's pretty good. So this was more on the topic earlier. Hang on, let me see what track comes on next so I can manage the volume. Oh man, this game's soundtrack is so good when it's not very bad. Listen to this, though. feel bad talking over it. Like, I never want to play Xenosaga games again, but man, those soundtracks, I listen to tracks from these all the time. Yuki Kajiura's work in this game is next level. It is so, so good. And then as soon as the cutscenes are over, someone else takes over, and it is jarring every time. As jarring as this is probably about to be. Okay, not that jarring. This is so cozy, I love it. Like, I love so much of Uematsu's work over those first 10 Final Fantasy games. I think 9 is his strongest work of all. Just beautiful. Yeah, 9 was kind of everybody's strongest work. Anytime I try to think of like which Final Fantasy is my favorite, 14 kind of wins lately just because it's got some real unfair advantages. But if I don't count 14, if I disqualify it from that, 9 tends to be the one that just kind of comes out on top. Ten is another one though that like really gives it a run for its money though. Like I feel like 10 is not as strong across the board as 9 is, but it's one that's just like, boy, I've got a soft spot for that one. Nine holds up really well, the new Sabo, if you're wanting to give it a shot. It is... I think it is, like, not far from Chrono Trigger in just, like, how fun it remains. It feels like a perfect distillation of early Final Fantasy play and vibes and... it's really just exquisite. Ooh. Speaking of disparities between game quality and game soundtrack quality. Although I'm given to understand, Skyward Sword Remake is a huge improvement. So it's probably not as disparate as it used to be, but boy, Skyward Sword soundtrack is so good. That is so beautiful. Like, I think Skyward Sword might be my favorite Zelda soundtrack. Despite at least the original version of Skyward Sword being one of my least favorite to play. Have I seen the Final Fantasy IX remake trailer for that sort of like UE5 engine thing that some fans are making for like a memorial project? I did see some bits and pieces of that. I need to like look at it more closely. It looks pretty impressive and cool. It still does definitely feel like a sort of fan production that could use some stronger art direction. But like it's again, like games are such enormous endeavors to make that even just like making that, a bunch of people making that on their own time just out of passion is really cool. Was Skyward Sword on the Wii? It was, yes. Originally. Ooh. Oh boy. It's like, it's hard to, I don't know how much if I would have believed that like banjo music would tug at my heartstrings to this degree before playing this game. Man, this game's incredible. Oh yeah, hey, speaking of diegetic music, yeah. This is exactly that. I wonder what this team is working on now. Other than presumably still like making the Switch port of this. This is a game that there's lots of game experiences that have been all the more special for playing them on PlayFrame. Sometimes just because like it captures that first time experience in a way that I can go back and listen to or watch again and sort of like it captures that experience in Amber. And for some games like this one, that first time experience is something that is a unique, like wonderful thing. So I'm really, really glad I played this for the first time on the channel and that it's recorded and can be visited again. Still waiting on that Switch port for Outer Wilds? Yeah. I don't envy them the challenge of making that game run on Switch. They're really taking on a challenge for that one. Like, once I heard how Outer Wilds kind of like works under the hood, I'm a little impressed that it works at all, even on powerful hardware. Wasn't it already coming out a while ago? I feel like I remembered it in a Nintendo Direct. Oh yeah, they announced it like a couple of years ago at this point, it feels like. It's quite delayed. And again, given the complexity, I'm not entirely surprised. I hope they do pull it off as well. Just so more people can try it out. Because what a game. Ooh. Big vibe change again, but still nice. You heard they were originally thinking about having an achievement for having the player, the probe, and the ship all on different planets. Forces the game to fully simulate 3 planets. I'm guessing the only reason that's not an achievement is because they found it crashes the game most times. Oh, Toasters, thank you for posting that again, because I saw it and then got distracted. Last time it got interrupted. Have I played the Sea of Stars demo? I mainly asked because the stream reminded me that game's battle theme honestly rules. I have not. Honestly, I don't play demos much anymore. Not out of lack of interest, but just because I've got to keep a games that I'm trying to get to as it is, and I'm usually just game for waiting for the full thing. Like, there was a demo for Little Kitty Big City recently for Steam Next Fest, and that game, that's like a guaranteed showing up on Playframe thing when it happens, and I'm very excited to see it, but I'm just trying to hold off. I'll just wait. I can be patient. Looking forward to it, though. All right, what do we got? Ooh. Another game with a strong, fun to play to incredible music disparity. This game's soundtrack is so bonkers good. It is wild. It is wild that Mitsuda managed to do even better than Chrono Trigger soundtrack. Chrono Cross might not have pulled that off in topping the previous game, but the soundtrack does, which is wild. Listen to that. I see some of you are hearing this for the first time, and I'm so happy right now. I am thrilled I got to introduce you. Go listen to some Chrono Cross, people. It's real good. I couldn't talk over that any more than I already had. It was just disrespectful. All right, what do we got? Yeah. Oh, I'm happy here seeing these pop up, and it's my playlist. Has a video game soundtrack ever kept me playing a game that I think I would have dropped otherwise? And if so, what's an example? Ooh. I bet so. I feel like the original soundtrack to Nier actually probably did carry me through the experience of that game in its original form. Because the original Nier was rough. But that music was just as good from day one. And I think that the vibes and the sort of epic scale of it and beauty and danger that Nier music brings, really intrigued me. Is this playlist available past the stream? Sadly, no. This is just my local collection here. But the track names are all up here. And even if the VOD gets muted to heck, track names will still be up there. Pyre will definitely show up on Playframe someday. If for no other reason than there are some patrons who are fighting real hard every bonus playthrough vote. They never give up, they never give in. And one of these times, just... it's like, it is inevitable, they will win. It's just a matter of time. What a good Chocobo theme. We've had every kind of Chocobo theme. Including that bizarre sort of... It's not new metal. It's something different. But it is new metal adjacent for Final Fantasy 13-2, I think. Which I kind of can't help but love just for how brazenly silly it is. Like, yeah, no, definitely look up the 13-2 Chocobo theme sometime if you want to. I promise you, you are not ready for what you will hear, and your first thought will immediately be, "This must be a joke parody version." It's not. That's what happens when you get on a Chocobo in 13-2. Okay, all right. Shuffle heard we liked Chrono Cross. This is basically just a theme for sort of a chill... It's a coastal village, yeah? I guess a lot of them are in Chrono Cross, but... It is so cozy. I see some of you have gone to have a listen to that 13-2 Chocobo song and are now here feeling confused. And yeah, I mean, that's the correct response. I could switch us over to the 13-2 Chocobo theme right now, but honestly, Shuffle's on such a hot streak. I kind of feel bad breaking their flow. Absolutely the same. I'm gonna say your name wrong. Nonamenanish. Hang on. Stop moving, chat. I'm trying to read a name right. Nonamenanashiki. Sorry for saying that so weird, but I tried. But yeah, I've listened to this track so many times. No name Nanashiki. Hey, that makes it a lot easier. Thank you. Is that track in this playlist? No. I admire the boldness of that Chocobo theme existing. It didn't feel like an appropriate fit for sort of like my favorites playlist. Wait, the composer for the Chocobo theme actually commented on that YouTube upload of it. That's kind of beautiful. Is there anything from Three Houses in here? That's a good question. I'm pretty sure there's at least a couple Fire Emblem tracks. Let me see if Three Houses got in here. Wait, did no Fire Emblem get in here? That's not right. That's clearly me being wrong. I'm throwing some Fire Emblem in this list. Hey, here's one I'm willing to bet a lot of you don't know. The Blob soundtracks rule. These games are so full of life and so peppy and upbeat. It's like a wide variety of different musical genres, but all of them are just like kind of a fun, bouncy, good time. The Blob is basically this game where you are effectively like a little paint blob character who can jump into different colors of paint and then sort of like splash that paint across this completely colorless city to bring color back. And you're basically just being like it's weirdly it works very well as like a just baby's first anti-fascist like game. It's basically just this big thing where like, okay, this faction, this very like fascist coded faction of little paint blobby creatures. It's all very cute and kid friendly, but it's like it's all these this like little like ink like this little ink faction that has drained all color from everywhere, and it is like just like imprisoning all of the occupants of all these towns, and you are like you and this little small group of revolutionaries that you're with are trying to bring color back to these towns. And as you do, the music for every level starts very sparse, but as you start coloring in more and more of the world around you, more of the music comes in more and more. And better still, different instruments are tied to different colors, so as you like dip yourself into red paint or whatever, you'll get like horns or something, and horns will become a more prominent part of the musical accompaniment flair that are playing every time you're coloring an area in. It's very neat. Like, it's less fun to play than I would like for it to be. Like, it's pretty fun, but it feels like it's a really solid like B+ game. But the concept is strong. It's got some really cute animation in it, and the music is just peppy and just like full of life, and it's great. It's just fun. And I'm pretty sure they're available on, if not Steam, they've definitely gotten ported to some more recent things, which makes me happy, because yeah, they definitely were not hits in their time. It is on Steam? Heck yes, good. And I'm sure it's cheap, and probably goes on deep sales frequently. But yeah, the soundtrack for the Blob games are great. All right, let's see, what do we got next here? Ooh. This arrangement for Smash Brothers with the Yoshi's Woolly World theme is so fun. I really like it. Oh, no, you're safe. This is not from the Yoshi's Crafted World game, which does have a really obnoxious soundtrack. Yoshi's Woolly World had a good soundtrack, and this is just a much more upbeat Smash Brothers rearrangement of it, which is just all peppy. It does kind of have a Sugar Ray vibe, actually, now that you mention it. Just a little bit. Just like a little bit. I hadn't made that connection before, but that's fun. That's a good time. The bass line kind of does it, yeah. And now this harmonica is making it starting to sound like really Katamari. Like this little stretch just has very Katamari vibes. I think it's just the eclectic mix of music, of instruments, really. Yeah, Kirby's Epic Yarn has a great soundtrack, too. Just catchy. Kirby's Epic Yarn's definitely happening on the channel at some point. I don't know when. That's just such a beautiful, chill time. Maybe when they eventually, like, I'm hoping that they'll do like a nice little remaster of it for the Switch or something. Because boy, that'd be pretty. It's pretty, like, in SD, but HD Kirby's Epic Yarn, that'd be a treat. Oh yeah, I'd buy it again, too. I agree. All right, next track. What do we got? Oh. Also very good. I didn't realize this was the music only just for the E3 trailer. I guess it's like an arrangement of it. Mirror's Edge was neat. It's a neat thing. Honestly, going from Mirror's Edge to Katamari, this is way less jarring than it could have been. There's definitely a lot more Katamari in here. Oh, that reminds me, I need to get some Fire Emblem in here. Why is there not Fire Emblem in here? That doesn't entirely make sense. Yeah. Like, 6 may not be my favorite Final Fantasy, but it doesn't matter. This is lovely. Little Prince, why did you wait so long to have our music play? Hey, blame Shuffle. I fed it so much Katamari. Are there any unlikely music composer collabs you'd like to see happen? Fortunately, one happened last year that is a way more wild and cool combination than I ever would have thought up. And I might have to do a one-off on the game just to tell more people about it, because I didn't hear enough people talk about it. Yeah, the Mario plus Rabbids sequel. Do y'all know who the composer for Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is? Or rather, which 3 composers? Because the original game was composed by Grant Kirkhope, already very good. Grant Kirkhope, like, wonderful. Banjo-Kazooie, classic, great composer. Also, getting in on this soundtrack, though, this time, was Yoko Shimomura. Miss Kingdom Hearts is in there, which that's like a neat, interesting combination of composers that's already really cool and like a neat, like good idea fit. But then, on top of those two, you've also got Gareth Coker, the composer of the Ori games and Immortal Phoenix Rising, and there's one other one that's escaping me. That's a combo of 3 composers I never ever would have thought to put together, but that soundtrack rules. And I can't believe, like, I never would have ever expected to see those 3 all on one soundtrack. Is the Rabbid game good? It is, yeah. Like, it's like your tolerance for Rabbids, like, energy and wackiness and all that may determine whether you are up for the experience at large. But if you want a kind of like tactical XCOM light kind of a game, those are actually like really fun tactical RPG type games. It's so good too. I really feel like the Donkey Kong Country soundtracks did not have to be as good as they are. The Mario Rabbids game is really good. One of my favorite tactics games because of how fun and expressive the combat system is. It really is like a cool combat system. And the animation is so good. Like, we don't get that kind of really exaggerated cartoony stuff super often in games. And I really love how that Ubisoft team, I think it's the Milan and Paris branches of Ubisoft, those studios. I love how they animate the Mario characters. All right, we're looping. What's the next track? What do we got? Ooh, yes. Classic and good. How's volume, by the way? Have I cranked the music too loud at this point? Volume's great? Lovely. Very much looking forward to hearing my thoughts on the new Mario game. I'm excited to see it. Hey, thanks for the 6 months, Nismith. Yeah, Super Mario Wonder looks pretty amazing. It's funny, as consistently good, like as consistent as Nintendo is at making really fun games that are really charming looking and have some pretty good animation in them, they rarely go super, like, over the top with the aesthetic design of their animation. They don't really go super stylized in a kind of a flashy, attention-grabbing kind of way a lot of the time. Their animation just, like, it usually ranges from solid to really good and quite strong, but not, like, in that kind of extremely stylized way. It's really neat seeing them do that for Super Mario Wonder. Let's see, Eterna, let's see. How is the Final Fantasy V animation analysis video coming along? It's not the one that I'm working on at this exact moment. Now that I finished the Sonic video, oh, that got louder, sorry. Now that I finished the Sonic video, I've shifted to trying to challenge myself to make the next video in like 2 weeks if I can. I'm wanting to try doing that kind of in between the bigger videos now. Try to see if I can find smaller topics that I can make quick videos about that are still just as like fun and good, but don't take me months and months to do. So that one should hopefully come out very soon. After which, I will be focusing on the Final Fantasy V video and probably dedicating like Fridays to just binge streaming that game so we finish that playthrough and I get the rest of the footage. And hey, look who's here. Why, it's a Dan Jones and friends. Welcome, everyone. We're chilling out and enjoying video game music with the king of all cosmos. We're just friends. Welcome. Dan, what were you playing? And while you answer, I'll respond to this. What's the possibility of any XCOM games on PlayFrame? You know, I feel like XCOM games would be better stream games than PlayFrame ones. I could be wrong. I'd worry that I couldn't make, especially given how overly careful I am playing, playing XCOM games. I feel like I'd be really boring to watch. Ooh, what's coming up next? Yeah, okay, see, there's our Final Fantasy X. I knew it was in here. Ooh, Dan was playing Tears of the Kingdom. Fine choice. He's doing like challenge runs now, isn't he? 10 soundtrack is so good. Hey, how cool is it that for the HD remake of Final Fantasy X, they kind of rearranged a lot of the soundtrack? Not all of it, but a lot of it. And the new versions are like just as good. Some of them sound quite different, but I like them just as much. There's a lot of cases where it's like actually quite hard for me to decide which of the 2 different versions of the same track I like better. Do I have any plans to do Tears of the Kingdom on the channel or on stream? Or is the list of games to play already too long? I feel like first I want to, like, it's weird we haven't done a Zelda game on the channel yet, so that needs to happen sometime soon-ish. I feel like Wind Waker's the one to start with. Like, Wind Waker's got this perfect gremlin energy that I think is going to be perfect for the channel. And depending on how that is received, then I think other Zelda games should follow. And I would be down for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but I think I would need to approach them in a pretty, I need to approach them in a pretty specific way where, like, I do a bunch of stuff that's less interesting off camera. Like maybe do a bunch of shrine, like, running, or, I don't even know what I would do off camera necessarily, but I'd need to find some way to make the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom playthroughs not be Elden Ring playthrough long. You know? Ooh, Blargle. Now here's someone with good taste. Super underrated Final Fantasy X-2 soundtrack? Agreed, 100%. X-2 soundtrack's great. Do I think I'd scale back on the YouTube videos, like the Monday, Wednesday, Friday releases, so we could dedicate more time to stream games on those days? Well, that's the thing. Like, right now, no, I that wouldn't work because, like, I actually have a full-time job. So, I'm not, like, if I wasn't releasing videos on those days, I'd be at work still. So, like, Friday, like, granted, the place I work has a 4-day work week, which is why I could do streams on Friday. Usually, that's the day I have dedicated to making new Frame Plus videos, but, for the Final Fantasy V video, I need to get that playthrough recorded still, or finished, so I can stream getting the rest of the footage for that for a couple of Fridays, maybe. Someday, if I'm able to do this full-time, though, then yes, I would like to stream more, and stream the kinds of games that are less YouTube-friendly, you know? You need to watch more of my videos? Aw. I mean, you don't, like, need to, but if you want to, by all means, go for it. I hope you enjoy. I'm flattered. There are a lot to choose from. It's true. We're coming up on 5 years straight of Playframe. And with at least one video uploaded every day. So we've been going for a bit. That was some nice 10-2. Shuffle, what else you got? Wow, Shuffle. Shuffle's good. Like, I know this playlist I threw together, so it's like, I know all the tracks that are in here. But I feel like Shuffle's doing a very good job DJing this stream for us. I'm gonna do Earthbound on the channel sometime too. I have no idea when. But thanks, Pichu. I have no idea when, but I've also never played Mother 3, and so I figure, like, alright, we should do Earthbound and Mother 3 at some point. Someday. Hey, Dan, hello. What are we up to tonight? We're just chilling out, listening to just a playlist I put together of video game music on Shuffle. Just enjoying some good VGM vibes until Twitch says stop. Basically. It's kind of just a chill hangout, but also an experiment to see, like, how does the VOD for this end up? I bet very silenced, but there's only one way to find out. I hear you've been doing some challenging Tears of the Kingdom stuff over there. No paraglider, was it? And no weapons and bows and shields. That makes... I was about to say, no paraglider in Tears of the Kingdom. That's doable. The second part of that makes a very huge difference. How's it going so far? Oh, Winter's Captain, that's very kind of you to say. And like, I'm flattered that I've been able to help through tough times. I'm always very glad when Playframe is able to provide a chill comfort on a regular basis for folks who need it. It functions that way for me too, a lot of the time, so I'm glad that we can provide that for others at times. Wait, you finished it? Dan, holy cow. That's amazing. Here's me not even having finished it once, or barely even gotten anywhere in my first playthrough. Shuffle with a good taste. I feel like this is the game that's going to be happening for the holidays this year, now that we're doing Mario-type games for the Christmas slot. And I'm excited, because I haven't played this all the way through in so long. And Yoshi's Island is so wonderful. Until Baby Mario gets knocked off of you, and then for that brief amount of time. Sonically, it is one of the worst experiences in the world, but it does incentivize you to fix the problem as quickly as you can. Did I say we were getting yet another Katamari re-release? Wait, which one? Because we've had Katamari Reroll, and they just came out with the We Love Katamari re-release, thank goodness. Is there another one as well? That they've, like, announced? Which one would it be? I guess it would either be, like, it would be either Me and My Katamari from the PSP or Beautiful Katamari from the Xbox 360 era. Or maybe Katamari Forever, even though that one's already kind of a greatest hits album of a game. Whatever keeps Katamari alive, whether it's re-releases or whatever, I'm here for it. Oh hey, here's a great touch in this track. We should all just enjoy. I love that so much. It's so cute. Like, because it sounds like one of those little wind-up, little, plinky little music box, tones. But then as you're just watching the opening cutscene and the music starts slowing down and somebody off camera has to wind up the music box again for the rest of the opening story scene. It's so cute. What a cute idea. Where's on a Chrono Cross kick tonight? Now I'm here for it. This is sort of like the overworld travel theme for it. It's so strong. Oh yeah, when the Katamari re-release came out, like Google did that sort of cool thing that let you play Katamari on the results page for the day. That was a cute little that was a cute little thing they set up. It's me, Chrono Chris, the protagonist of the Chrono franchise. Oh, okay, so the new Katamari is the We Love Katamari reroll that came out recently. I am aware of that, and I'm so glad that, again, just whatever keeps the Katamari franchise alive in some form. Hopefully long enough that they'll make another one someday. Am I playing Final Fantasy 16? I've dipped into it a little bit, and I'm deciding still whether that's going to be the next playthrough on the channel or not. It's what I was originally planning for, and I'm still kind of feeling like probably yes. The only thing that's like giving me pause is like whether or not I can. Like 16 has a vibe about it that is not like 16 is dour. And we've not really had a dour game on the channel ever, and I'm wondering how well I'll be able to, like, be entertaining in a game that is that grim. I will probably try. I'll try it out. Like, I'll start recording it, and if it's not as, if it's just not working, I'll bail. But, I disagree that it's not as grim as it first seems. I have played through the first couple hours, and like even whether the events that transpire are what they appear to be or not, like the tone is grim regardless. Hey, more Splatoon. Good taste shuffle. I will probably still do it though, because like I really want to see the animation in it, and I am so eager to hear that music, and what I've seen of the combat system is really interesting, even though I'm going to be garbage at it. Kurt Fu proposed Nier as another game we played that's dour. I actually would disagree. Nier is trying to make you sad, and it definitely has a lot of bleak moments, but Nier has a lot of lightheartedness in it. Nier is funny, it's silly, it's got lots of beauty to it that it's wanting to envelop you in beauty a lot. It's wanting to wow you with pretty or fun things. Like Nier wants you to still have a fun time. Which is a different sort of tone. And not even like, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with 16's being more of a kind of a grim, dour in tone. It just, it's a vibe that we've not really done. It's the same sort of reason that I wouldn't want to try doing The Last of Us on Playframe. I don't know if I could make that, like, it's hard to bring good vibes when the game's fighting. It's not that it's not possible. It's just like you have to go into it with a specific approach. So we'll probably still do it because I'm really excited to see the game and see the animation in it and all that. Ooh. Akaitana, you've said it extremely right. That actually condenses it perfectly. You can't, like, let's get frozen yogurt in Last of Us is hard to do. Like, there's a certain kind of sad and bleak where trying to bring lightness or comedy or stuff into it feels, like, inappropriate. And that's the thing that's giving me pause with 16 that makes me a little worried that it's like, that I will not know what to say in it other than animation assessment, and that's about it. But I guess the only way to know is to try. And I do want to see that game. It is interesting. This is not the version of the track that I'm more familiar with. Because yeah, I'm more used to the Chrono Cross version of this later as well. It is neat how the composition is still just extremely good, even if it's in the original form. Just beautiful. Actually played Radical Dreamers. I guess I can now that it got bundled in with that Chrono Cross remaster of sorts. But it's like the Chrono Cross version and this one, by extension, are like so sort of like mournfully beautiful. City of Tears in this playlist? Almost definitely. I think the other question for you with 16 is if it's going a little too hard on that M rating for Playframe vibes. I wondered that too, but the more I thought about it, like, we're almost done with God of War Ragnarok. We've played Nier. We've played a lot of M-rated games. Like, M-rated content on its own isn't really the problem for me, I don't think. I think I've increasingly over time realized it's not the rating, it's the tone is the bigger decider. Yeah, I've decided Persona 5 is my favorite of the Persona soundtracks. This clinched it. I just had to hear this again. Both the vocal and the instrumental version, and the Rainy Day version. The Rainy Day version, maybe even more so. Just, so nice. So nice. I'm actually gonna go refill on water real quick. Fortunately, I can just leave y'all with some good tunes while I do. Here, let's go to this screen real quick. Y'all keep enjoying the tunes, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. Water refilled. Hydration achieved. Stretching as well. That's a good reminder to have. Baja Bali, thank you. Dan, I started a Hollow Knight randomizer. I blame you and Dan Jones. I'm not good enough to randomize the nail and focus, though. I think you could argue I wasn't good enough for that either. But there we were. Enjoy, though. Randomizers are great. Oh, hey, the BRB screen is still here. That's not how it's supposed to be. Thank you for the heads up there. And just in time. I guess we still got a little time on this track. But, I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for whatever Shuffle comes up with next. Do I have any favorite BGM composers? We're listening to a lot of them, honestly. Definitely, and from all kinds of eras and genres. Kind of too many to try to name, honestly. It's challenging. All right, what do we got? Oh, yeah. S tier. Final Fantasy XIV music. God, I can't wait to get the Shadowbringers. I'm having a great time. Hey, friends are here. I'm having a great time in Stormblood, and we're gonna be in it for a while. But Shadowbringers is what convinced me to do this stupid long playthrough, and I'm excited to get there. Will, how's it going? I hope you and your friends who've come to join are all doing well. We're just having a chill video game music hangout. We've been naming ducks. Okay, I need a little more explanation on that one. I'm trying, but I'm coming up empty on possible explanations for what that could mean. Plastic duck sim happened. Ah, I see. Plastic duck simulator, no less. We're trying to crack the safe door. I know almost nothing about this game, and every additional sentence only makes it more enticing. Hey, Wobble Scott, welcome. Hey, thank you for the 3 months, first of all, but also hello, welcome. Quack the safe door, come on now. No joke, that game has wild puzzles. Well, I'm very intrigued now. I'm writing the title down on a sticky note. Yeah, if you're all just joining us, either from the raid or otherwise, we're just hanging out, shuffling through this playlist of a bunch of my favorite video game tracks, enjoying some nostalgia and just talking video game tunes. Partly just for fun, and then partly also just to see what happens to the VOD afterwards. It's gonna be messy. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, King of Doma. And 4 months, Kevlar. Goodness. They can't all claim copyright. That's the fun thing. At least on YouTube, once you start getting claimed by lots of different entities trying to claim the video because they're claiming that like they have a track in there somewhere that they own, then it's like just them fighting amongst themselves. Let them fight, exactly. It is that. Because at that point, you're definitely not getting paid for that video. One of them is winning. Video game music is usually fine for VODs, at least on Twitch. Couldn't tell you what YouTube will do. Yeah, YouTube is where most of my experience lives, and it's... With video game soundtracks, 9 times out of 10 you're safe. The only thing that might change that is if it happens to be like a... if the soundtrack for the game was officially released, and it was like published by some bigger record label, like UMG is a common headache, or Warner Music sometimes. If the soundtrack for the game was officially released through one of them, then you might start running into trouble. Usually you're fine though, so we'll see. All right, this track's pretty long. I like it, but it's pretty long. Let's see what else Shuffle has for us. Yeah. Splatoon, good. It's really fun having just a big mix of video game music all in one playlist and hitting shuffle, because boy, you're in for an emotional ride with sharp corners. Hey, King Carnage. Thank you for the 7 months. All right, what do we got? Yeah. Oh man, Persona 5 is so good. And like I was saying this near the beginning of the stream, I love how much variation within style Shoji Meguro does with each Persona game. Like, as someone who played through and enjoyed 3 and 4, I was really excited to see a trailer for 5. And when, like, this is not the musical sound that I expected from it at all. Whenever Persona 6 drops, or like whenever we get an initial trailer for that, I'm sure it's going to have a new vibe to the music that's also quite different from this, and I can't wait. Thoughts on the Persona 3 remake? I'm glad that it's getting one. I'm glad that it's getting one that also includes the FES, like, expansion edition content that, like, a lot of the other re-releases of 3 haven't included. Because it's kind of like a post-game expansion story that has some really nice emotional beats to it that are kind of spoilery. Like, 3 is not my favorite of the Persona games, surely, but oh, is it not including that, end story? Wait, so it is including the FES stuff, but it's not including the answer? Isn't the answer just what the entirety of what FES is? I'm gonna need to look this up, apparently, but I had heard that it is including that stuff. Oh, no FES. Dang. Bummer. Oh, well. Hey, here's some Gareth Coker. It's about time he showed up. Honestly, if they make more DLC for the Persona 3 remake later, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Honestly, like, the FES story, it feels like DLC before DLC existed. It's just sort of like a little mini sequel expansion. But it has some really lovely, it has some really cool emotional story stuff that is, again, kind of spoilery. I'm hoping they include it, though. Eventually. If not at first, then I hope they add it. Jeez, Gareth Coker is so good. I'm glad he's getting a lot more work in more AAA stuff. So pretty. Ooh, here's a nice classic. Okay, so the current word is FES won't be included on release, quote unquote, with the Persona 3 remake, so it's probably so it's suspected DLC. I'm game for that, honestly. Now this probably will get claimed, yeah. Yep. Rip VOD. Yeah, this is Grammy winning. Is this the first piece of video game music that won a Grammy? I want to say yes. It is. And deservedly so. Like, Civ music is great, and like Civ title screen main theme music is always wonderful. God, the title screen music for Civilization 6 is so cool. It is just soaring. It might literally be called that, actually, now that I think of it. Hang on, what is it called? It is called Sogno di Volare, or The Dream of Flight. So, yeah, basically. Civ scares you because you're terrified you'll love it and never stop. That is a... Listen, that's a valid fear. They are quite fun. They can eat up a lot of time. Oh, no. This Baba Yetu is the name of this track. I was just trying to remember the name of the Civilization 6 title theme. And that one is Latin for The Dream of Flight. This is Baba Yetu, the first piece of video game music to win a Grammy. I think this is the original arrangement, but I'm not sure. You know, I don't know if I've ever actually played Civ 4. I may have. I feel like Civ 5 is really when I dip the toe in. And like this theme, I only know from Reputation. Oh, it's a different arrangement on YouTube. Interesting. Maybe it's like a more recent, like remaster rearrangement of it. I don't know. I don't remember where I got this one. Sounds like this is the one from the OG arrangement from the game. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like an album release, which is the one that's on YouTube. Hey, maybe if this isn't the album release, we won't get copyright muted to heck. Probably not, but it's a nice hope. All right, Shuffle, what do you got? Ooh. Vibe shift, but not in a bad way. Listen to that. That's so cool. I think it was tracks like this that got me to keep playing Nier Original, even though the gameplay was not fun. It was the contrast between the beauty of the beautiful vocal music from the village to going into a dungeon and hearing something like this, and was like, this is just so different than any other RPG or game soundtrack I'd heard anywhere, and I was just like, it's just magical. It's really cool. Didn't the original version of Nier not let you move when you cast spells? I can't remember if that was one of the things. Combat in original Nier just felt clunky and awful. In the Nier Replicant re-release, they basically updated the combat to feel a lot more like Nier Automata, which is great feeling combat. Original version did not feel good at all. That's so cool sounding. I love how they use vocals so much in Nier music. That's just amazing. Any interest in playing the Street Fighter 6 World Tour on the channel? I need to check that out, apparently. I've been hearing a lot of buzz around it. Like, I'm so garbage at fighting games, but I've also heard that Street Fighter 6 has done some, like, good stuff for being, like, really approachable. So I don't know if it'll be on the channel, but heck, maybe that'd be a good one-off, just dipping a toe into that. And I do need to look at Street Fighter 6 because the animation is real good looking. Man, this track goes hard. For a track called Bluebird. chorus vocal things going on back there, just in the mix. Just rad chanting. Now what do we got? Ooh. This feels right, given how much we've been talking about Persona 3 in the last 20 minutes. I'm glad Persona 3 is getting another shot at the spotlight. I feel like it really started blowing up with Persona 4, and Persona 5 really became a big as win. By that point, Persona had become a much bigger deal. But 3 has a lot going for it. And lots of great tunes as well. It's like, I remember trying Persona 3 out for the first time back in its day on the PS2, and if you're someone who's been playing a lot of Final Fantasy games, Persona is such an exciting breath of fresh air, just with a different kind of setting, different kind of play, really quite well written and localized, and having music like that. Oh, hey. Now here's this version. I do love this so much, though. Can't talk about Persona anymore. Now we're listening to this. It's just painfully beautiful and sad feeling. I love this track so much. What a lovely composition. And the fact that it sounds just as potent, honestly, in its original Radical Dreamers form, is really testament to how potent this composition was to begin with. Was the Chrono Cross on Steam that bad of a port? With music like this makes me want to play it all that much more. I hear it got some patches that made it better. And I think if it's a choice between playing the Steam port and never getting to play Chrono Cross, definitely go for the Steam port. It's got performance issues and some of the issues that I saw at the time. There's some issues with how they've upscaled the art for the backgrounds and various choices that make it, I think, a not very good port of the original game. Granted, the PS1 is a really tricky era to visually port, figuring out the precise way to try to update the retro graphics in a way that looks good on a modern TV while still feeling faithful to kind of the original look that those games were going for. That's a real hard challenge. And Chrono Cross is not nearly as good a game as Chrono Trigger, but it is really interesting and neat and beautiful. Again, you're hearing the music. It is aesthetically gorgeous and worth dipping into. see some other folks already answered it, but the question of whether or not there's been a Ghibli-inspired video game. Yeah, the Ni no Kuni games were worked on by Studio Ghibli. And there's lots of other games that are out there where it's very clear that Studio Ghibli films had a very big influence. Tears of the Kingdom being a huge one. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom clearly have like a truckload of Studio Ghibli influence. Also, there's another one that's escaping me. I get strong, maybe it's just me, I get strong Studio Ghibli vibes from Gravity Rush. Maybe it's just the vibes of it, but that feels like, Gravity Rush feels like the game of like an animated movie that Ghibli could have made.
When you speak, I hear
Ooh,
silence.
more Darren Korb.
Every word a defiance. I can hear, oh, I can hear. Think I'll go where it suits me. Moving now to a country.
Transistor's so cool. I like how relatively short it is as well. Like, we did this one for a bonus playthrough on Playframe, and it was pretty breezy. Like, it does not overstay its welcome, but it's fun and strategically neat the whole way through. It's definitely, the style of play is definitely quite different from the action style of play of Bastion or Hades. So it's a Chocoman. I'm not like shocked to hear that it's like. It would not surprise me some folks having a harder time getting into Transistor than those others. It's really neat though. Like an extremely well-designed version of what it's going for as well. Like it's a neat system. A really neat, unique kind of tactical play. It's hard to top Hades for Supergiant games at this point, and I cannot wait for Hades 2. But yeah, even the earlier, there hasn't been a bad Supergiant game yet, and it makes me excited for whenever we do get to Pyre, whenever the patrons do finally get their way. Because I know it's like, it sounds like it's another one of the sort of like weird outliers of Supergiant's past games, but I suspect I'm still gonna love it. Shuffle's way into Yasunori Mitsuda tonight. Not that we can blame it. Because, I mean, listen to this, but... so good. Mitsuda's still doing game soundtracks these days, yeah? Is he still working on, like, the Xenoblade Chronicles games now? Yeah? Awesome. Good. That makes me happy. Like, I've not been playing the Xenoblade Chronicles games, but I'm just glad I'm just glad Mitsuda's still in the works. What an amazing talent. This is the first game he composed for. This was his first try. Isn't that just stupid? Good night, Albatross. Thanks for joining. Oh, Shimamura is doing Xenoblade these days, so he only contributed to the first one then. Okay. Fair enough. There's some indie game that was announced, or that I saw a trailer for recently, that apparently has Mitsuda on board. I can't remember the title now. But it's got like a retro look, and yeah, it's an indie game that has like a retro sort of pixel look, and Mitsuda, maybe it's Sea of Stars actually. It might be Sea of Stars. But that's a heck of a talent to get on board. It is Sea of Stars? Rad. I was already excited to check out Sea of Stars, but what a way to immediately increase my interest tenfold. Something about this does feel Studio Ghibli too, actually. Now that, yeah. I don't feel like I would have made that connection on my own, just Jocelyn, but now that you've said it, I totally hear it. Especially from kind of like that earlier, like 80s era of Studio Ghibli, where like more of the soundtracks had a bit more synthiness to them. Even just in the composition and vibes, though, I can actually totally, I can hear it now. What do we got? Finally, it's been a weirdly long time for us to only be hearing one Katamari track. Good pick, too. It's so pleasant. If they actually do announce and make another legit new Katamari game, I will lose my mind. Even if it's not like as good as the old ones when it finally comes out, I will be just beside myself with excitement. There's very few game announcements that could get me like really hyped these days. I'm usually just sort of like optimistically like looking forward to any game that I see announced or pop up. I'm like usually like, oh cool, yeah, I bet that'll be neat. Looking forward to seeing how that turns out. I feel like just Katamari being something that kind of feels like the sort of franchise that's just not gonna, that's a franchise that feels like it's gonna get left in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, but man, if a new one ever gets announced, I will be giddy. It will roll in its grave. Did I ever try Wattam? You know, I never did. I should do that at some point. That looked cute. Super Mario RPG Remake got a big reaction from you. Me too. And I haven't even I've never actually played all the way through Super Mario RPG. I just never expected that in a million years. And it looks really cool. Like, the look for it, for the remake of Super Mario RPG is really cool. I like the aesthetic.
I'm so in love with you. I wanna wad you up into my life. Let's roll up to be a single star in the sky.
Yeah, actually, I hadn't even thought about it, but I too now I'm wondering who is developing the Mario RPG remake, because I'm almost certain it's not Square. I imagine that's probably Nintendo, or some kind of third-party studio that Nintendo is collaborating with. Now I wonder that too, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a third-party entity that they're teaming up with. I am looking forward to the remastered music, though. I was very happy to hear that Shimomura is involved. That feels right. Ah, this is lovely. But I can't stream tons longer. Let's get a few more tracks squeezed in here. Especially since this one's a bit longer. Hey, nice. 1, super weird. Kingdom Hearts hasn't shown up yet. 2, what an exquisite version of Dearly Beloved to get. Because there's like 10 different versions of Dearly Beloved at this point. With some really, really neat variations. This one is so chill and peaceful. I think it might be my favorite one. It's so serene. Darn, I love Kingdom Hearts. I have no idea what to expect from 4. And Kingdom Hearts is so ridiculous, but I can't help it. Yeah, same. No Name, Nanashiki. Like, it's pretty, like, this is a potent title screen, like, booting this game up and this being the serene piece of music you are greeted with. That's a heck of an opening vibe. So gorgeous. All right. What do we got next? I am curious. Ooh. This may get us very content ID'd as well. But good pick.
Step in front of a runaway train.
Anybody who's played Red Dead Redemption to get to the part where this plays, it's like, wow, what a moment and what a vibe this is. Like, the point where this track drops in is just so potent.
It's so far away. It's so far away.
We don't have a lot of needle drops in video games, which is probably for the best. But this has got to be one of the best ones in video games, though. You have played, but can someone non-spoiler remind what happens? There's basically a point where you're just like halfway-ish through the main game where your things fall apart and your character has to go on the run and basically flee to Mexico. So you're just on horseback riding across a long stretch of wilderness on the run to get to just the border, basically. And it's just a long ride. In a somber, emotionally weighty moment after a lot's gone wrong. And this is just playing as you just ride across an open, gorgeous western landscape, and it's
Step in front of a runaway train. Just to feel alive again. Pushing
Just beautiful work.
forward through the night. Making chest and blow aside.
Someday I need to play all the way through Red Dead Redemption 2.
Chest and blow aside. Aching chest and blow aside.
So I enjoyed what I played of it. And I've watched the Noah Gervais video on the Red Dead Redemption games like 3 times, even though it's like an 8-hour-long video. It's not that long. It's like 3 or 4, like 3-ish hours. But yeah, the way Noah talks about these games and describes them makes me like want to go fall into these games and play hours of them every single time. That's right. It's the Resident Evil video that's 8 hours. Red Dead one's just 4. And I feel like maybe it's just because Rockstar is just the known for Grand Theft Auto stuff, but like I keep kind of forgetting how many just really emotionally poignant moments that Red Dead games have, which Grand Theft Auto games would be kind of being too wacky and silly to make room for. And I understand Red Dead Redemption 2 has a lot of those moments as well. Naruhoodie saying, I guess I can guess what needle drop means, but I'm curious what they are exactly. I don't know if I'm necessarily using the term right. It's a term I usually hear for sort of like a moment in a film, in like kind of a film soundtrack really, where a bit of popular music drops in, like at a certain moment for a sequence, oftentimes. And I think that the term is one that I heard from a Patrick Willems video. I'm sure the terms existed long before then. That's just when I was introduced to it. And usually game soundtracks are kind of like more score. It's not like songs or pop song or songs like this. But for some reason, this track feels like an appropriate one to call a needle drop as opposed to just another piece of game music in a lot of other scenarios. Ooh. It was hours ago that we were complimenting Crystal Chronicles.
Dreaming of the stars.
I love the opening song to Crystal Chronicles.
That speak to me in secret sighs, drifting on a breeze. Only I can feel and hear.
I feel a lot of nostalgia for Crystal Chronicles. And it's the sort of game that, like, the vibes are perfect for play frame. The play... I don't know if the play is. Because, like, it feels like the sort of game you should play multiplayer, right? But two-player Crystal Chronicles is the least fun way to play Crystal Chronicles. You need 3 or more. And I actually don't know how multiplayer even works in the remaster they made. But properly enjoying this game in its day, such an investment. And I can't throw stones. I have owned a lot of Rock Band instruments, but you had to get a lot of hardware for this one game. Battle of the Dance Crystal Chronicles. Yeah, I feel... I don't know if we do a full playthrough, but that'd be really interesting, having 3 Dans try to play Crystal Chronicles, and I wonder if we'd be good at it. Would we cooperate? Who would get stuck being the Crystal Bear? Something tells me it'd be Emmons, and then probably eventually me. What did you need for Crystal Chronicles? Okay, so the Crystal Chronicles game originally came out on the GameCube, but you needed to play it with multiple people, I think both players needed actually Game Boy Advances as their controllers, plugged in via a Game Boy Advance cable. Maybe you could play 2-player with 2 GameCube controllers. I can't remember for sure. You could play single player with a GameCube controller, but to do multiplayer, everybody had to have a Game Boy Advance plugged in with a special cable into the slot because, like, your menu, your inventory was on your GBA screen. Oh, that's right. Four Swords Adventures also worked that way. Is the Four Swords setup? Yeah, exactly. The boldness and misplaced boldness Nintendo had to be so brazen as to create entire video games with the assumption that our audience will buy this, they'll own this, right? And like, for the people who did and could, like, what a grand time. For the rest of us, though, we just kind of had to imagine. Also, when the mail Moogle comes to drop off the mail, each player needs to be able to read their family's mail to them and compose a response. I forgot about that mail thing. That's so darn cute. Darn it, I do kind of want to look at Crystal Chronicles again. Oh, that's right. And you like have to like give your like little Moogle, like male Moogle, like little baths and haircuts. It's like a little pet management thing as well. And there are these little round tribble things in Crystal Chronicles. I'm now in just sort of like a wave of memory, remembering how Crystal Chronicles works and what all is in it. And I sort of love it. I love it so much, it's distracting me from this very good end credits song for Splatoon 2. Yes, Crystal Chronicles was the one where you couldn't run outside the radius of the crystal thing, which if you played single player, there was a Moogle who would hold it and chase you around. If you were playing with 2 or more players, though, one of you had to carry it, and you couldn't really do anything but carry it, and everyone else had to try to fight stuff inside the radius of you moving around. If you had 3 or 4 people, then you could like take turns, and like only one person would have to be Crystal Bear and the others to be running around and playing. If you just had 2 people, then you just had to be, only one of you could really be fighting at a time. And that kind of sucks. There's a lot that was cool about it, though. And very good vibes. This is pleasant. Let's do a few more tracks here before we wrap it up for the night. And send the stream off into Vodland to its doom. There's some Hollow Knight. Where you been hiding? Now, I know we're all waiting for Silk Song, but if there's some of you who are just like really dying to hear some more Christopher Larkin music and you can't wait, there was an indie game a couple of years ago at this point called Tohu. We did a one-off of it on the channel ages ago. Christopher Larkin did the music for that too. And it's a different vibe, a very different kind of game, but it's still very recognizably Larkin in the sound. Would recommend. This is very soothing. Unlike the region of the game, which is the opposite. I mean, it's very pretty, but so dangerous. Hey, Zod. All right, last few tracks. Ooh, something retro. I like it. So many of you only know the Soken Final Fantasy XIV version of this. And you know it in a completely different context. This track means something completely different to you. And that's okay. I just find it really amusing how just the context for this piece of music for a lot of Final Fantasy fans is completely changed now. It's amazing how good it still sounds in 8-bit form, though, right? Oh, a lot of folks probably know the Dissidia version too. That's true. That's true. It's a really beautiful piece of music. Like making the NES sound chip, like making NES music sound beautiful, was no small feat. And Uematsu was shockingly good at it. How many audio channels did the NES, did most composers have to work with? I want to say it was like 4. I think it had like 6 total that you could work with. But you needed to save some of those for actual sound effects. Which is why sometimes, when you hear, when you're playing NES games, sometimes certain sounds will trigger and you'll hear certain, layers of the music go away for a second. 4 channels and plus a sample channel. Right, okay. Sometimes sound effects would have to, kind of take over and you'd hear one piece of the background music drop out for a second. Just amazing what they could do within such limitations. Ooh. Shockingly little Mario this stream. Shuffle just wasn't feeling it as much. A good pick, though. I love that the Wii was when Nintendo suddenly realized that actually investing in live orchestra for their established franchises was in fact a very good idea. Because, Mario Galaxy soundtrack, amazing. Skyward Sword, also incredible. Do we have Okami music in here? Oh, we definitely do. In fact, I'm kind of shocked that none of that showed up. But then again, this playlist is, over 500 tracks large, so there was a lot we weren't going to get to. But hey, so long as, none of the channels get a copyright strike or some nonsense from this, I'm totally down for doing streams like this some more in the future. This has been fun. It's just relaxing. I love me some video game music. How many hours long is this playlist? Over a day. And this is just, again, I need to stress, this is just, my favorites. I've been building this collection up for a lot of years. How big is that total video game soundtracks, all tracks playlist? Oh yeah, that's 39,000 songs. Video game soundtracks tend to be have to have a lot of tracks in them, to be fair, but oh boy. Reaching, I'm afraid you did join just in time for... I'm starting to wind down. It's Carrie and I have got to watch through the next week's story mode episodes just to make sure there aren't any errors, and also just so Carrie can see the story because she's never seen Stormblood stuff. But oh yeah, well, we can get it squeezed in a track or two more. Why not? For funsies. Here's one that'll be a pretty big shift. Well, not a huge shift, but a shift in tone. Very good though. So Jake Kaufman, the composer for Shovel Knight and lots of other good things, also handled the music for that DuckTales 1 remastered game, which is great. Jake's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of games and soundtracks I'm actually surprised never popped up in our little random shuffle here. Here, I'll make sure. There. I'll just choose the last couple manually. We needed some Okami in here. Just a little bit. Because Okami's soundtrack is so good. Yeah, there's a lot of Mick Gordon in here that never surfaced, which would have been another very abrupt tonal shift. No matter what was playing before, there's nothing that will organically segue to Mick Gordon. I love Mick Gordon music so much. And not just like the Doom soundtrack's obviously phenomenal, but everything else Mick Gordon has worked on is also super good. From Wolfenstein to that 2013 Killer Instinct, Prey 2017, that was Mick Gordon too, and that music's great. Very different. It doesn't sound like a lot of his other stuff, but Prey 2017 is also gorgeous. Actually, here, that's what we'll go out on. Here is a track from Prey 2017 by Mick Gordon, which is phenomenal. Yeah, Prey's opening theme is good too. I was debating between that one and this one. This one's just kind of like a somber character theme. It really is a shame how much, like, Bethesda, and it seems like id Software really specifically, but both of them. It was both of them. Very sad story how very screwed over Mick Gordon, like, was kind of over the development of Doom Eternal. I'm really sad that relationship is just kind of poisoned between them now, given how magical mixed music for Bethesda and id Software's games have been. But wherever Mick goes on, like, to compose music next, I'm there. Like, I've never heard a Mick Gordon soundtrack that wasn't just S tier good. I think he was involved in Atomic Heart this year, or at least a little bit, which I've not played. But he's extremely good at what he does. I'm confident he will still be getting work. Real good vibes. I feel like I should manually choose something also for signing off here for the wind down. What should I choose? Let me scan through this list. And yep, there's the one. Because I love Skyward Sword soundtrack so much, and hearing Fee's theme earlier reminded me. Let's listen to this. That is so lovely. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining tonight for this stream experiment idea. I've had a great time. I hope you all have had one too. We will see how we will see how the VOD turns out, and if like it has any other ramifications for the channel. Hopefully not. But even if the VOD ends up not being super listenable, we may still do this again in the future, just for funsies. Maybe we won't do any like more like robust, structured video game music listening parties or anything, but just chill hangouts. This has been a good time. But yeah, I appreciate you all joining me. Now, who we got on? Oh, Jordan's playing Novalands, which I don't know what that is, but Jordan's great. And after having such a pleasant time chilling out here, Jordan seems like a good, pleasant person for us to go hang out with some. So thanks again for joining me, everybody. We'll do this again sometime, probably. Again. Fingers crossed. We'll see how the VOD goes. But yeah, I'll get this raid going in about 10 seconds or so. So y'all have a lovely rest of your evening or morning or whatever it is that you are experiencing at this time. And yeah, I'll try to stream again soonish. I'll definitely have to do a bunch of Final Fantasy V streams in the coming weeks, so look forward to that. Got a video to make. Anyway, y'all take it easy. I'll see you next time. Bye.